Hi, my name is Bekah. Welcome to my video series, Everyday English, Every Day. Here we have authentic conversations with real people so that you can practice your English language skills. Be sure to be consistent with your learning and find at least 10 minutes a day to practice English. Okay, the times, they are a-changin', we hope. Do you know that Bob Dylan song? If not, Google it and check it out. Okay, so we're gonna listen to a conversation I had with my friend Alex. We went to school together at Eckerd College in St. Petersburg, Florida. And he's gonna share his experience with us. And for a little more, we're gonna talk about the expression to cross the line. Okay, so Alex and I had a conversation a couple of weeks ago during all of the protests for George Floyd's murder. So during our conversation, I want you to pick out these phrases. I want you to listen for them and focus on them because we're going to practice using them together. He's going to talk about his experience, what's going on, things that could be changing in our world. So let's practice the phrases together. Repeat after me. To galvanize enough. The emotional roller coaster. Wishing for peace. You don't look like me. Really heartwarming. On the other side. Not clashing against the establishment. Fighting against the blue shirt, the shield. Okay, let's watch our conversation together.
Whenever that is, whether it's another 4 days, whether it's another 2 weeks. I think that we're going to galvanize enough to defeat who's in office. I really feel that because I'm starting to.
So.
It's funny to see the emotional roller coaster that I went from like hurt to angry and wanting to destroy to going somewhere and not destroying, but then seeing destruction and now wishing for peace. And everyone that is there who's in La Mesa now, that are people there, there are people who live down the street that are like sweeping up sidewalks, like people are taking down broken glass, like there are professional, companies that are coming out there and people are coming together. I'm like, look at the unity that we have right now with people who are so angry, but I think people are starting to, over the last couple of days anyway, are starting to like be cheering and angry, but then looking to the side and being like, wow, you're here too. Wow, and so were you. And you don't look like me. And you don't.
So was it very diverse when you were down there in La Mesa the other day?
Yeah, it was.
And I've seen some cool things with like police taking a knee. I mean, there's some.
Yeah, I've seen some new.
Just stuff I've seen on Facebook, but
I've seen some new things like that, which is really heartwarming. That's why I feel like we're
getting to a point
on the other side. We're on the other side of it, and all that energy that has been so, needed to get out, but then there was some hateful part of it and a destructive part of it. I feel like that's really turning because we're starting to see more and more, like the cops in Ferguson. They took off their weapons and their helmets and they joined the protest. And I went, now you're not clashing against the establishment or it's because it's not the person it's not the Asian or white or black dude that you're fighting against. You're fighting against the blue shirt of the police. That's what you're really angry with. It doesn't matter what the guy or girl looks like that's wearing it. You're fighting against the shield. But for the shield to cross the line and to turn around with you in line and walk with you that's a different animal. It's a good animal.
Yeah.
It's a peaceful animal. You know, it's a
Uh-huh.
cat. You know, it's not a an alligator. You know,
Mhm.
so I think that
Okay, so let's look a little more at these phrases to practice them together. I think we're going to galvanize enough to defeat who is in office. So the verb galvanize is to shock or excite someone into taking action. So it's kind of like we're getting all of this energy, right? We're working together. Hopefully, when the presidential election comes around in November of 2020, we see some changes. It's funny to see the emotional roller coaster. He says he's been on an emotional roller coaster. Now, a roller coaster is a ride that we have at an amusement park. And when we're on an emotional roller coaster, it's kind of like the idea of having a lot of ups and downs in your emotions, good times and bad, positive and negative. It's kind of all over the place. Now, when he says, you don't look like me, when we look like someone, we have similar features. So Alex was saying that when the people are downtown and protesting and even cleaning up the protest, he said, they don't look like me, right? It was a very diverse group of people. So we often look like our family, right? These are my parents. Who do I look like? Maybe I look like my dad. Now, to wish for something, we're going to talk about the difference between wish and hope here. Now, wish usually expresses a desire that is impossible or unlikely to happen. It's probably not going to happen. It's funny to see the emotional roller coaster. I went from hurt to angry to wanting to destroy to going somewhere and not destroying, but then seeing destruction, and now wishing for peace. Now, he's wishing for peace because he used wish. It's kind of like it might not be as easy to get as we would hope. Now, to hope for something is a desire that is possible or likely to happen. So I think he could also say, and now hoping for peace if he felt like it was a little closer to happening. In this case, I feel like we really could use both of them. But let's look at some examples that they would be different. I hope I have my dream job next year. I hope tourism in Costa Rica improves in 2021. Now, I'm giving more specific ideas here. So I'm hoping for it because it's possible, right? I'm working on these things. We hope that tourism changes after the coronavirus here, and that next year things are better. When things are better, they improve. I wish I had my dream job. I wish the economy were better. Here I'm not taking any real action. I'm just having this desire. I'm not talking about anything specific. So I'm going to use wish instead of hope. Does that make sense? Feel free to send me some examples in the comments or ask me any questions. All right, so really heartwarming. I have seen some new things like that which are really heartwarming. That sounds funny, doesn't it? Sometimes we add in extra words when we're talking and we don't even realize it, right? During conversation, we add in filler words or sounds sometimes. I do it in English all the time. So it's something that, you have to remember. Sometimes we say things and it's not always perfect in our native language. And we never really think about it. But when we are learning a different language, we think of it as a mistake, but it's natural. Okay, so when something is heartwarming, it warms your heart. It makes you feel good. So he's seen some good things, some positive things. Those are heartwarming. On the other side. That is why I feel like we're on the other side of it. So we have two sides. You're here, and when you go to the other side, it's like there's been a change. It's different, hopefully. Not clashing against. When you clash, you're like fighting against something. Now, you're not clashing against the establishment. So when you clash against the establishment, you could be having violence like against the police, fighting against the blue shirt or the shield. So Alex says it's not the Asian or white or black dude that you're fighting against. You're fighting against the blue shirt of the police, the establishment. That's what you're really angry at. You're fighting against the shield. So he's using the expression, the blue shirt or the shield, to represent the police force, the police department in this sentence. All right, for a little more, let's talk about to cross the line. So Alex said, but for the shield to cross the line and to turn around with you at the line and walk with you, that's a different animal. So basically he said there was a line. The establishment, the police are over here, the protesters are over here. Well, some police crossed the line. They went to the other side and walked with the protesters to show support. So it's like going over to the other side. Now, we can also use this expression a little differently. It can also mean to overstep a rule or limit, to go too far or do something that's unacceptable. So it's basically like the opposite of this idea. Just depends how you use the expression. He crossed the line when he yelled at his boss. His boss thought it was disrespectful and was angry maybe after it. He went too far by yelling at his boss. The cop crossed the line when he used force, right? When he turned to violence, right? Force is like the idea of forcing someone to do something, making them to do something with pressure, with power. All right, guys, keep up the good work. Remember, if you like my video, give it a like and subscribe to my channel. I post new videos on Mondays. I'm also adding in a grammar feature, so hopefully I'll be posting 2 videos a week now. Comment below, ask me questions. Feel free to email me with any questions or comments too. All right, guys, have a great rest of your day. Keep up the great work. Bye-bye.